Why are all the new Spider-Man in Across the Spider-Verse so memorable? There are three things that the writers did that made these characters so good. Now, this is your official spoiler warning for the entire movie. Well, not that you would understand half of what I'm about to say if you haven't watched the movie. Go watch the movie, it's so good. So, what are these three things? One, strong introduction. In this movie, there are four new Spider Man introduced. In chronological order of the movie, they would be Spider Man 2099, Spider Woman Jessica Drew, Indian Spider Man Pavitra Prabhakar, Spider Punk Hobie Brown. Each of these characters have similar circumstances to their character introduction, which make them stand out and be loved by the audience. What was that? What did they do to make all of these Spider-Man leave a good impression on the viewer's mind from the start? Because like first impression is last, that kind of thing. Let's start with Spider-Man 2099. First, let's get the obvious out of the way. The scene where he enters into Gwen's universe is hands down one of the coolest scenes to look at. And the Spider-Man 2099 theme song that goes along with it is just phenomenal. This is obvious since everyone knows this, but what makes the scene more impactful is the fact that he enters in the fight where the hero, aka Spider-Woman, was about to get beaten or worse, killed. And thus uplifting a seemingly bad situation to good. This instantly leaves a great impression on the viewers. Same with Jessica Drew's entrance. Not only the scene is cool to look at, her entrance come in a time where it seemed like Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Woman and the Vulture were at a stalemate. No one can beat one another, and just as victory was out of sight, Miguel calls for backup.
Lila, can you please,
Nah, you gotta say it first.
call for backup?
What?
Call for backup.
Come on.
Please just call for...
Yeah, I already called her. But I enjoyed that.
And in comes Jessica Drew. You may now see a pattern with these entrances. This happens again with Indian Spider-Man. In this scene, Gwen starts falling after getting knocked on the head. Miles swoops in to save Gwen and he glitches. This makes the web snap and Gwen starts falling to the ground. And just as we start to get the dreadful memories of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, a bangle and a web shows up and characters are saved by Pavitra Prabhakar. Again, same concept. The heroes are in trouble with seemingly no way out and a character shows up, instant likability +1. Again with Spider-Punk, the spot is near the collider. He's about to turn on the collider and has activated a wonderfully strong barrier to keep the good guys from entering. Miles tried to use his venom power but to no success. When all hope seems lost, Hobie shows up and shatters the barrier, letting everyone in and fight the spot. Again, same concept. In a losing situation, a character shows up and saves the day and turns the tide in favor of the heroes. This is a great formula to get the viewers like each and every character introduced. These scenes are written in such a way that it doesn't seem like they used the same formula, but they kinda did. And until I pointed this out to you, you wouldn't even have noticed it. That is the cleverness behind the writing. Move on to uniqueness. Every character in this movie is unique Every Spider-Man is unique. They have unique style of swinging, fighting, and even unique styles of animation. Moreover, different universes also have different styles. So, what this achieves is that there are no clashes between two characters. In the mind of the viewers, they don't have two similar characters to choose from. Since all Spider-Mans are different, the viewers have the liberty to like every Spider-Man without comparison. For example, let's say Peter Parker from Into the Spider-Verse was still alive, and in comes Peter B. Parker. This would be a clash in characters, and people would have a hard time choosing one or the other because you cannot like two characters who are identical. You see how this clash would be detrimental to liking one Spider-Man or the other? We move on to behavior. The writers and animators made sure that each and every character do certain things to showcase the relationship dynamics between the characters. For example, Gwen Stacy, who from the very first scene of the movie is portrayed to be quote unquote into Miles, so much so that in the end of the movie she makes her own team just to save Miles.
With a few old friends.
Anyway, more on Gwen Stacy. In the scene where Spot blows up the Mumbatan Collider and everything is falling, you can see that Gwen is pulling Miles from danger because he is disoriented. Also, the epic four Spider-Man, Spider-Woman falling scene, we can see that Gwen is focused on Miles, telling us that she really wants him to be okay. Also, in the scene where the four heroes look down on the destroyed Bombatan, we can see Pavitra Prabhakar holding his hand to his head after seeing the destruction because he had an easy Spider-Man life, as seen from his character monologue.
And even he got a watch?
Yeah,
Being Spider-Man is so easy.
Which means that he hasn't seen anything of this scale yet. He has an easy Spider-Man life. Whereas the other Spider-Man are not as shocked by seeing the destruction because they are used to seeing these kind of destruction from their adventures. In this scene where Miles is getting scolded by his parents, his body posture changes according to who is giving him quote unquote the looks. Look closely to Miles in this scene. His body language changes when he notices his mom and changes again when he notices his dad. Also, side note, Miles wants to learn quantum physics and travel across dimensions because he wants to meet his friends, especially Gwen. I don't know what it is, but this movie does these simple things so well. It's either the soundtrack or the animation or combination of all of the things. It just works so well together.